Welcome everybody to Speak Up Sis Podcast, the place where everyday women and men have an opportunity to share their stories to inspire yours. We say what you think no one wants to hear, but everyone needs to know. I'm your host, Angel Charmaine. Tonight, I interrupt our typical schedule, which would be Nappy Pad Talks, in order to do a share with you all. I don't do this too often. It happens every now and then. But this is a moment when I need to be able to share my story to hopefully inspire your story. Today, I had a moment that lasted the entire day. And I've shared with you all on a previous episode of Speak Up Sis Podcast titled Soul Cry. I shared with you all my testimony of childhood sexual abuse. If you aren't aware of it, you can go check that out. I'm not going to go into great detail about that during this episode. What I want to talk about in this episode is understanding that trauma doesn't just go away. That part. Did you know that trauma actually sort of lives in the body? Your body remembers it even when your mind's not thinking about it. And when certain sights or sounds or behaviors, or it can be any old random thing, happens, it can trigger those unconscious thoughts, feelings, memories, and your body will react almost as if it's still happening. Well, something like that took place with me today, and really just threw me for a loop because it hadn't happened in so many years. But I am here today to share with you all in a very vulnerable space, as someone that's looked upon as being very strong and confident and bold and sure of myself and all of those things. And all of those things are true. I'm also here to say that even the strongest person you know, the most confident person you know, have moments where they too need others to pray for them, need someone else to hold space for them, need to know that it's okay to have a moment and it not take away from all of the strength and confidence and lovability, if that's even a word, that they possess. I thank God for the people who are divinely connected to me. A woman I've never met prayed for me tonight. A woman I've never met in person stood in the gap for me tonight and helped me to break free from some chains that tried to wrap themselves around me today. I bless God for divine connections. I speak often about finding your tribe, knowing who is in your tribe. And I do that because it's important as we journey in this life to know that you can't do it all by yourself. We weren't designed to do it all by ourselves. And so we must use discernment. We must understand healthy divine connections and unhealthy attachments from the enemy, we must understand them and be able to recognize them so that we stay connected to those that God has placed in our space to help us maneuver through this journey we call life. So tonight, I just simply want to encourage those of you who are the strongest, most confident people in your circle, those of you who stand in a place of authority and leadership. I want you to know that it does not take away from that for you to operate in a place of vulnerability and transparency. It doesn't take anything away from the strength of your voice to allow other people to hold space for you. I am learning every day that vulnerability and transparency and honesty are most definitely my superpowers. They help me to remain in a place of leadership. So tonight, I just want those of you who are like me to know that I stand in solidarity with you. And I want you to know that it is so okay to lead from a place of vulnerability. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time on Speak Up Sis podcast. Thank you for listening today to Speak Up Sis podcast. I invite you to visit me online at speakupsis.com and subscribe to receive updates on future Speak Up Sis podcast episodes. Also, I'd like to thank our generous supporters. You all help make it possible for me to continue to create this safe space for everyday people to share their stories, to inspire the stories of others. If you're listening and you'd like to support Speak Up Sis podcast, click support in the app or visit speakupsis.com to make a one-time contribution. Remember, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So until next time, open up your mouth and speak up.